Well, it seems just as official combat operations ended in Afghanistan, those homegrown terror threats emerged here in the West. So how do Western military forces factor in to stopping these kinds of attacks in the future? Retired Army Special Forces Colonel Stephen Bucci is with me. He was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense under Donald Rumsfeld. Sir, it is good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Maria.
Now, as director of the Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies at the Heritage Foundation, no doubt you are looking at the issues of the day. Can you tell us how the battlefield has changed as these new threats have emerged?
Well, on one hand, it hasn't changed at all. We're still at war with terror, despite what the president would like to say. This incident in Paris has shown us that there's something between the big, high-profile 9/11 type events and the simple lone wolf, some guy just jumping in his car and running somebody over. These guys have some training, some equipment, some support, and then they act. That's much more dangerous than the true lone wolf.
So what do you think on the ground special forces need to be doing at this point? How do you break open this global network to actually get a handle on the homegrown?
Well, the homegrown is really a law enforcement issue. It's really something in our country for the FBI, in the UK for the MI5 guys. The special forces units can be called in to support law enforcement on a takedown, but their job is really more overseas, chasing down the bad guys in different countries, or in Iraq and Syria, perhaps embedding our soft guys with the local forces to take ISIS apart at that end. That would be very helpful.
Well, you know, it seems to me that it's sort of an all-new game, and not to be using the word game lightly, but when you factor in cyber and the idea that ISIS is basically, you know, getting new entrants through the internet, attracting people online, and the bad actors are using, you know, hacking as a new tool. These are all new tools. Are we prepared?
Not as prepared as we should be. We are working on it. Al-Qaeda was already using the internet to radicalize people. ISIS has taken it up a notch. They're better at it than Al-Qaeda has been. And now they're adding in actual attacks, not physical attacks, but the attacking networks, trying to get information. They're pretty savvy at using this. We have to up our game in both protecting our networks and going after theirs.
In what way? What can you say in terms of specifics that we're not doing right now that we should be looking at?
Well, we've got to get our business entities in line to protect themselves better, and our individuals. Our level of personal security here in the United States is not up to speed, and we actually have a lot of government agencies whose cybersecurity is pretty darn poor as well. DOD's good, Intel community's good, White House is good. Most of the others, not so much. So we need to improve that greatly.
Are you expecting more of an emphasis on this, for example, during the President's State of the Union on Tuesday? What might we expect in terms of foreign policy coming out of this State of the Union this Tuesday as we set up a new day in Washington?
Well, from a foreign policy standpoint, I think the president will probably lowball it. It's not his specialty. He's not comfortable with it. He wants it to go away so he can do his stuff that he really cares about. And I think he'll declare some victories like he's done in the war on terror when they're not there. So we need to really look at whatever statements he makes and test them to see if they're really as sunny as he may portray it.
All right, we will be doing just that. Stephen Bucci, good to have you on the program. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.